Hey, what's up, guys? Carl got back to the video, and today I want to do my review of Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, English dub, episode 12. So, episode starts out with Ichigo's mother walking outside the class and stuff like that. She was mostly hanging out with her friends there, but mostly mostly she was having some like weird feelings there. She was mostly walking outside of school, and mostly she was having some like weird feelings about this hollow thing. She was runs into the guy there, Kenji there. Mostly she runs into Kenji there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir," and stuff. That's what she was saying. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." He's like, "Next time, just kind of watch your step there." And he was about to walk away, and he kind of noticed something that was technically off on her. She technically, when he touches her and stuff. So when he was, then when they were talking about that, we see Ichigo's father was talking there, saying something about how they technically, how they mostly how she mostly got the hollow was technically inside of her and stuff like that. Mostly we see Ichigo's mother walking into the house there. The head mother of her technically was saying something about to her, saying, "How dare you help a Soul Reaper out? You're a part of a Quincy there. Quincy's do not help Soul Reapers out and stuff." That's what they're saying. And technically now you're disobeying the thing there. But Ichigo mother's like, "Well, I technically did it there because he was in trouble there." Ichigo's father was technically in trouble there and stuff. That's what she was actually saying there, and stuff like that. So technically, she was getting pissed off at her and stuff, and mostly the guy there, the Quincy guy, actually runs over to the thing. He's like, "Why in the mostly because she technically one of the sisters technically snitched on him and stuff, and he's like, "Why you snitched on him and stuff?" There and stuff like that. She's like, "Well, technically she was technically hurt there," and she's like, "If she doesn't have this thing there, or we do nothing there, she can easily die there." So I had to tell somebody there because her life's on the line there, and that's what she was actually saying to him. And he mostly jumps down. He's like, "Well, we need to get you somewhere safe and stuff like that." He's like, "Oh, you're just full of it there." That's what Ichigo Mother said. She collapses on the ground there. We see this like image again. She collapses on the ground. They know there's like something inside of her. There's like a hole inside of her chest there. And technically, he's like, "Oh crap, we have to do something there to save her and stuff." There, and then the mother's like, "Well, don't listen to her. She helped. She's like one of the Quincy's we don't really trust there. Why you're helping her and stuff?" That's what she was actually saying um, to him there. He's like, "Well, I have to help her anyways. She's gonna die if I don't help her." So he technically takes off there with her, and she's like telling him to come back there, and he didn't really want to listen there. He's like, "Don't worry, we will find you the thing." He's telling Ichigo's mother that. And mostly a Soul Reaper comes up and tries to attack him. We see Ichigo's father there, Tendro there, was actually slays the Soul Reaper there. He technically kills the Soul Reaper there. And he told him, he's like, "Well, if I didn't," he's like, he said this there. He's like, "If I didn't show up there, you should have been dead there." And stuff. That's what he told him there and stuff, because the Soul Reaper was going to kill him and stuff, or the Hollow was going to kill him and stuff there. So technically slays the Hollow and kills them off there. And technically was saying stuff about that there and stuff, saying about how it's going to be affected there. And mostly they go to the shop there. Kenji mostly was telling, he's like, "Follow me, I have something there to actually heal her there." And mostly she was mostly in pain there and stuff, and he was actually saying, he's like, "Well, there is some." Kenji was actually saying, "Well, technically there's something there. It can actually help her out there, mostly help her out with the thing there." He's like, "Mostly that soul there, If you did left it in there, she was mostly going to be a Quincy Hollow there, and that's what he was saying there, saying he was mostly going to be a Quincy Hollow there, and mostly that's what he was saying there and stuff. We see Ichigo's father there was actually saying how we can save her and stuff. He's like, well, technically you can save her there, but you can use this thing there, this thing I actually made there. It actually has a human soul in it there. And mostly he's saying this thing that does have a human soul. He's like, if you bring this in there, you have to give up your soul reaping days and mostly do it and stuff. He mostly offers, Ichigo father technically offers there, saying about that. He said he doesn't really like it, but he has no choice there. That's what he was actually saying to him. So we see Ichigo's mother was about to get devoured by her soul. Was technically going to get devoured by the Quincy, or not really Quincy there, but technically mostly her soul was going to get devoured by the hollow there, and mostly Ichigo's father saves her soul there using his tenjin there, and mostly defeating the soul there and stuff like that, and actually defeating the hollow it's inside of her. Mostly technically fends her off and stuff, and then and then she was kind of like laughing there and stuff like that. Then we just hear Ichigo's father was saying something about how she mostly was saying, she's like, oh, I remember you and stuff. That's what Ichigo's mother was actually saying there. He's like, what's your name? I know you're that Soul Reaper I saved and stuff like that. And then mostly he was saying something about like he was trying to build his clinic there and stuff like that, and mostly he was actually he was trying to build his clinic there and stuff like that, and mostly she mostly went to college there. Ichigo's mother was technically went to college there and stuff, and then technically they go into the back there, and we see we mostly see all that stuff there, and he said all this stuff, and then he was actually revealing what actually happened to Ichigo's mother there, the day when she technically died there. And then when the episode ended there, when we got all the credits there, they mostly actually, in the end of part of the scene there, Ichigo's father was actually telling what actually happened to Ichigo's mother there. Mostly what actually happened to the Ichigo's mother there, mostly she technically lost her Quincy powers there, because the father of the Quincy's there can take powers away there from Quincy's there, and mostly we see that there and stuff, and that's the reason why she died there, because she technically lost her Quincy powers when she was technically fighting a hollow, technically saving Ichigo's life there. And mostly he was telling about like how Ichigo was born and stuff like that, and mostly he got powers from Arukia, and how he got powers from how he got his Bankai there, and how he got his all that stuff there. So he got technically all that stuff, but technically the only reason why Ichigo's mother died there, she was fighting a hollow there, and she lost her Quincy power, so she was trying to protect her son there from getting killed by the she mostly took the blow and died there, it looked like. And that's where the episode ends. So, yep. Mostly we also see him go outside, and then they were talking and stuff. And then he was ready to go and stuff like that. So, yep. Comment, rate, and sponsor to its Barrows. We like the Barrows. Please subscribe. Hit the notification on the uploads. Car sponsor to its Barrows. Like, her out. Added peace.